Have you ever driven somewhere without a GPS? Like a new town, somewhere that you've never been before? And how long does it actually take you to get there? Are you frustrated? Do you get frustrated through the journey? You're like, okay, I need a way to get there. Maybe you stop and ask for directions. Way back when there were maps you could purchase from gas stations. I don't know if they sell them still. But I remember buying my first map and I remember laying it out on my car and tracking out specifically how to get to my destination. And just that step alone gave me clarity. And it also helped me understand where I was and how to get there. You see, without a map when it comes to government contracting, you're just feeling frustrated. You feel like you need a roadmap and you don't even know where to ask or who to ask. Imagine going to the gas station today and looking for a map for government contracts. It's not going to be there. But what will be there is, snacks for the journey and gas, of course, for your car. And it feels like you're ready because those are the things that you need in order to get there, but you're missing how to get there, the actual steps, the left, the right, the turns, and you don't know how to do that. You don't know where to turn. Every time we move to a new place, my husband and I, we move to a new place, I go on this little excursion. I think he hates it actually, but I love it. When I have time to spare and I just kind of want to get away, I want to like just get lost. I actually say, I'm gonna go get lost. I'm gonna go get lost. I'm gonna just drive somewhere without a GPS. I'm just gonna just kind of explore, knowing that I need the time to figure it out. And I also have a GPS in the back pocket just in case I do get lost, which most of the time I do. But it's a good exercise for me to strengthen my ability to take risks. But it's not wise, right? Especially when you're desiring to get the outcome, to desiring to get to that destination faster. The fastest way to get to that destination is with a GPS. If you feel like, well, yeah, Melinda, but if you've been there like a dozen of times and it's in your neighborhood where you live and you feel like you've lived there forever, you know exactly how to get there. But what about those days when there's a detour, when there's construction, when that road is closed or the lights aren't working? What do you do then? Do you know other ways to get to the destination? GPS is not just for people that are new to that space. GPS is for people that are in existing in government contracting. You already know the landscape, but you only know one way to win or to actually get results of any kind. When you have a roadmap and you know all the ways to get there that are quick, simple, and straightforward, now you're laying out the map on your car and you could drive just about anywhere. So, today I want to share with you three tips to help you get clarity on building your GPS. Now, of course, I have my own roadmap that I share with my clients and for my teams, but just to give you some basic elements to help you get clarity. My name is Melinda Colon. I'm a government contracting specialist, strategist, and an enterprise value architect. It basically means that I help service based business owners who have established companies that are looking to increase the value of their business actually do so with systems, operations, and structure. And one of the most structured ways to increase the value of your business is winning government contracts. It enforces you to build structures, to build guardrails and just outlines and processes and SOPs so that no matter who is in charge, everything is still working. Now, of course, this is a benefit if you're looking to acquire a business or sell a business. Private equity and people that are acquiring businesses love this stuff because it actually shows you predictability and success. And if you hadn't noticed, more than 75% of the top brands in the world are acquiring contracts with public sector agencies. This is happening. And so what typically happens with my clients when they're coming to me, they're realizing that they've kind of outgrown this entrepreneurship, solopreneurship mindset where, well, they've built something, they've gotten to the seven-figure mark, they figured out what to sell and how to speak to their audience and what services and systems that they need, but nothing has yet to be documented appropriately. Like nothing has yet been refined to be communicated to more sophisticated businesses and brands. And this is where they come to me. They said, Melinda, I feel overwhelmed. I feel like the bottleneck. I feel like the person who's doing everything in my business, even though I have team members, but for some reason, my to-do list continues to grow and the time in the day continues to diminish. And I just feel like I'm doing a lot of must-haves and not a lot of wish-to-haves. Like the wish-to-haves of incorporating AI into your business that is seamless. It's not something that you're staying up in the middle of the night trying to figure out, but you can actually delegate it to someone who is an expert and be able to afford that. And right now, you're feeling like, man, I have team. They're doing a great job. I love these people. And I'm so glad I hired people that have personality, that have character to align to our mission and vision. However, the output, it still relies on me. Clients, they're relying on you. Team relies on you. Systems rely on you. Outcome relies on you. Vendors, suppliers, everything is relying on you. If you take a vacation, you still have to be available, or you feel like you still have to be available. I remember the first time I took a 2-week vacation and I had no technology. The only thing I had was my phone, and I turned off all the notifications. And I told my husband, if there's anything that blows up, please let me know because I am not paying attention. I just wanted the time away to think. And I'm so glad I did. I came back. I was kind of frantic and anxious when I came back to my business and realizing that nothing had broke. I spoke to clients and they were happy. They were actually surprised. They were like, "Oh, you're back." Like everything was being taken care of by the team that I had built, by the systems that I had built, the processes I built, and not to mention they were continually winning government contracts. Now, what happens with government contracts is that they increase stability. They help you see the value that's already in your business and articulate it in a language that buyers want to see. So, government buyers, they're not just looking at your portfolio of experience and saying, okay, so how does this fit into my sector? They're looking for you to compete. And one of the reasons why, and you will understand this if you're an established business owner, one of the reasons why there is paperwork and it feels like it's being gate kept. Like, how do you get into this situation? Like, it feels like a speakeasy, is because they're trying to weed out people that actually don't know what they're doing. It is intentional. I mean, it has to be, right? They've been in business, at least the federal government here in the United States has been around for over 250 years. I mean, they figured out a system to work with the best, the experts, the people that get results for the clients. And no, you don't have to be in business for 30 years. You could be in business for 2 years, but have 20 years of corporate experience that you're leveraging in your business. These are things that really help you understand where are you and where are you starting? What's the address of the gas station that you're at right now? That's the truth. And it might feel like you're on a deserted island, that you're starting from scratch, but the reality is we haven't shifted our perspective. Once you shift your perspective from being a consumer to a contractor, being an entrepreneur who has businesses, owns businesses versus an operator, this changes how you feel about your business and the business, how you feel about you. You don't have to be dependent on being available to make money. Your business runs on its own. Now, we have to work to get to that point, of course, just like you work to get to the point you're in now, but know that you're not alone. It's one of the most frustrating stats that I've ever heard or read in my life is that more than half of businesses that are within the 5 to 7 year range are out of business. They don't exist. They had a great idea. They started making money, maybe 6 figures, 7 figures, and somehow the owner felt overwhelmed. That founder felt overwhelmed and they just gave up. They didn't know what to do, how to move themselves out of the business so that they can enjoy going to their kids' recitals and sports games and spending time with their spouse and traveling with their family and just having free time to be human. They felt enslaved to their business. And I do really believe, just based off the research that's out there, kind of puzzling it together, I really do believe one of the main reasons this happens, why more than half businesses go out of business, is because they burn out. It's sobering thought and an idea where we have so many different things happening right now, right? We have the rise of AI, then we have the silver tsunami, and then they have so many things going on in the marketplace, and it feels overwhelming. And you might be thinking, this is a part of the vision, but I can't get to it because I'm so focused on being in the to do, the state, the day to day activities. How can I work on government contracting? It's just another thing. Well, I'm here to tell you that I would highly recommend, based off the experience that I've had working with multi-million dollar and billion dollar brands who say to me, the majority of them say to me once they see the results and the roadmap, why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't I prioritize this? I prioritized writing a book and expanding my YouTube channel and creating more social media and all these things when there are buyers that are intentionally looking to spend money that is set aside for the services that you currently provide. They're not thinking of maybe we're just kind of researching who is available and what it costs. They're saying, "Huh, this is the opportunity. Here's the bucket of money. Who wants this money?" And they are racing to work with businesses just like yours who are killing it in the private sector, who are making millions of dollars and multi millions of dollars in the private sector, who have capabilities and assets, and they're looking to work with businesses who are structured, who are refined, who just need some guidance and support to translate what they've already done into government speak. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, so they're doing the landscaping outside. So hopefully you can hear me clearly. Now, the first thing I want to share with you is that most businesses have a pipeline, right? You have some sort of a pipeline. You may have an email list, you have existing clients, you have referrals, you have some level of generation coming in, right? Revenue is getting generated. But how predictable is it? How consistent is it? Do you know that those opportunities are coming your way? Are you looking at your KPIs or your key performance indicators saying, okay, if I do this, this is the predicted outcome, and so on and so forth. And most businesses don't have this set up. Most businesses don't. They have fingers crossed and wish lists and prayers and things that don't equate to actual business that is not reliant on their time and energy and their effort. Nobody has a system. Nobody has a system that's going to show them how to install a system into their business that's going to help them build predictable revenue and consistent revenue over time. I'm not talking about like this 1 month, like next month, if I have a contract, I'm good. I'm talking about for the next months and years and decades to have contracts in your business. I haven't come across a private sector firm or organization that could show you that clarity, that level of clarity, that level of predictability that doesn't require you to run more ads and spend more money in campaigning. And I know that's something that most people don't want to talk about, but it's the reality. This is something that's true in business right now. It's true because the fact of the matter is that there's so much attention or I guess shiny objects that are in the marketplace that is making it hard for you to focus. You feel like you're just like there's so much noise around you, but you're just looking for the signal and it feels like overwhelmed. You just want to close your eyes, put your pillow over your head and just go to sleep. But the reality is there is a very strong signal and it's been calling out to your business for years. So I'm going to share with you what a system looks like. General Mills, I love using this example. General Mills has invested hundreds of thousands of dollars to build one specific revenue or conveyor belt system. One conveyor belt system is more than $100,000 each. They have in one facility, they usually have between 10 and 24 different systems. That's a lot of money. That's nearly like $2 to $3 million just in systems alone, not including maintenance and equipment and also the labor that requires to oversee the systems working. See, hopefully this is starting to kind of connect here. Where we are in the AI world and incorporating AI into our business, this is the conveyor belt example, but we're incorporating government contracting into that system too because it works the same way. You see, when you create a system, it's using the same principles as it always has. There is a start and then there is an end. There's an output that you're expecting to get. But if you don't prompt it the proper way, you're going to get something that you don't desire. So, how do we prompt the system appropriately when it comes to government contracting? We want to first understand who or where those opportunities. So the who is the point of contact, the person that you're speaking to that is responsible for buying your services. Now, there are over 100,000 agencies just in the United States alone. So there's a lot of who's. Okay, there's a lot of who's, and every agency has multiple buyers. So it's not just going to be 100,000 buyers. There's like more than 500,000 buyers. Okay. So looking at that, Lance, it's like, whoa, it's way too overwhelming. If you try to think, well, I'm going to reach out to every single one or try to come up with a strategy to do so, it's a waste of time. Instead, you want to focus on what you can actually sell. Where are you? Where's the gas station? Like, where are you? Where are you located? What's the address? And how much gas do you have in the tank? And what type of snacks do you have? Right? It's just like, what do you have to show when you get to the destination? This is important. This is the part most people miss. And this is the part where it creates acceleration. When you understand what you can leverage, the assets, the value, the capabilities, the skill sets, the team, the time, this changes the conversation. You're no longer just stepping in with a certification and fingers crossed that you win a contract. You're stepping in as a loyal, integral business owner who, just by the way, has a certification. You see, well, we won't go there. I'm trying not to go on a tangent. I could, but this is a live and I'm going to be structured. But if you want me to rant about that on another time, I'm happy to do so, to talk to you about the truth of certifications. And it's just getting more real every single day. And it's actually for your benefit. I think, okay, I told you I'm not going to go crazy. But number two, so the second thing I'm going to talk about is first, system. So we need a system. Second, tracking. Okay. So step number 5 of the GovCon sales strategy, my proprietary system, is to track. It's one of the reasons why I believe the unlock for our clients has exceeded over $5.7 billion since 2020. I really believe it's this step. I believe it's step one, prepare, and step number 5, track. I do really believe it. I cannot stress this enough because everything really is anchored on the start and the end. What most people don't do is they track their metrics. They don't want to, you find out that you lost and you run away, or you find out that you lost and you don't know what to do. Maybe you do ask for a debrief once in an email that was created by AI that wasn't custom and tailored to that specific buyer to show that you're wanting to build a strong long-term strategic relationship. And so one of the reasons why they didn't respond to you, because they didn't really understand what was the value to them to respond to you. So there are so many things that happen at step number 5. And it's really quite simple. It's actually things that you're currently doing in your business, but just in the wrong sequence. So it's things like follow-up. It's things like reaching out and asking questions, objections, like handling objections, or doing and studying the market, and just simple things. And then also updating your library of material, your marketing material, your branding, your copy, updating the team, like just really simple, straightforward things that you're already doing in your business, just in a different sequence. And so what I share with people is that when it comes to government contracting, most of the time, like 99% of the time, you're not changing anything about your business. It's the 1% that changes your business, but it incorporates structure. That's it. That's the 1% of the entire formula is structure. If you don't have structure, it's going to be harder for you to succeed. If you're like, okay, let's look at what's on Sam today, and I'm going to bid on this and that and the other, and you don't know how to formulate. I remember I was doing a workshop for a government agency, and someone raised their hand and they said, "Well, I bid on a contract and I didn't win." Asked them what type of contract. It was a federal contract for the VHS or VA, um, and she said to me, she said, "Well, I thought that I had everything I needed. I mean, all they asked for was a price, and I found someone to do the work." And I said, "Oh, time, 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 time. Do you know that the company that you're coordinating with to deliver the work, do you know their track record?" "No." "Have you worked with this company before?" "No." "Okay, so why would the government hire you? Like, why are you important to the entire formula?" "Oh, well, I found them." Well, I mean, you have to think there's millions of people that are registering their business to do business with the government, especially on federal. They could just go through their Rolodex of people that are already registered and reach out to them and say, "Hey, I think this would be a good fit opportunity. Why don't you bid?" Why would it make sense for you as someone who is bringing that opportunity to them to, like, you have to show value. And see, this is something that you're already doing in your business. This is why you stand out. This is why you're established business. This is why you're seeing the success in your business because you figured out how to show value. We just need to communicate value to a buyer, a government buyer. That is my specialty, is helping you know how to communicate the value that you have in your business to a government buyer. This is what changes everything. Not to mention, you're not recreating or redoing the same error over and over again. Another client of mine, she came to us and she said, "Well, we've been on 19 projects last year. We just can't seem to win. I don't know what's going on. We're doing everything. We watched all of your YouTube videos. What is it that we're doing?" And so we brought her on, showed her, we looked at everything, we audited quite a bit of her bids and her proposals. And it was a pattern. It was a pattern. I asked her, "Can you ask for the scoring sheets and ask for debriefs for the last 5 and the scoring sheets for the last 5?" It was clear as day, just as I predicted it. It was exactly the same problem for every single response. And she just literally copied and pasted. She said, "Well, we have it, so we're just going to copy and paste it, copy and paste, copy and paste. And hopefully one time it'll work." What happens when you just copy and paste something that you don't know has proven to work? There's a 50-50 chance. And so when you find out it didn't work, are you going to use it again? No. So why do you think most people do this? It's not just her. It's most people just copy and paste and not take time to actually find out whether or not it's working. This becomes scientific. It's just like marketing is art and science. It's scientific. It takes time to think and look at the data to see where it's trending. Is it in your favor or is it working against you? And in her situation, it was working against her. So I gave her some specific action items for her specific situation, and boom, she got clarity. But not only that, she was able to build a relationship that was fractured with a government buyer. Now, what that means is that she can now build a relationship. She can now understand what she's doing right and what she's doing wrong, giving her more clarity. She's behind the wheel, driving to her destination, knowing that when Cliff Street is coming up on the left, right, she knows what to look for. And the more that she drives that route, the more that she drives towards that destination, the clearer it is and the easier it is for her to unlock the success that she's desiring. So that is one of the 3 things that you should track are the responses, the relationships. The second thing that you want to track are the opportunities. I can't stress this enough. When I say this, I think it comes over a little cryptic. But when I say that everything is public record, I do mean everything is public record, including the future opportunities that you're desiring to bid on. So when it comes to like, should I look and pay attention and register and sign up for sam.gov and maybe a third party procurement site to find those opportunities? Yes. I mean, you do. There's another predictable reason why you want to do that. Really, really good reason. But you also want to know what's going to happen in the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 34 months. You want to know, you want to appear as if you're a fly in the wall when they're having private conversations in the room. And guess what? You can be. For every government agency, they have a way to record the conversations that they're having, right? So they're having specific board meetings where they're talking through the budget. They're talking about specific needs and demands and challenges and what the responses are from local stakeholders and the powers that be, et cetera. And you get to gather that information way ahead of the opportunity so that you can put the right information in the response. Changes everything. Now you know which events to show up to, you know what relationships to build, and now you're not racing to the clock within a 2-week window to put together a response. Response is already written months ahead. The third thing that you're going to want to track are your responses and who you're bidding to. Like who is actually putting out solicitations for contracts, right? So there's different types of solicitations, and those solicitations are all tied to dollars. They wouldn't put anything out unless they have money. Okay. So every time there's an opportunity that is being advertised, there's money already set aside for that contract. That's how it works, guys. So it's not about being the cheapest. It's about being the most competitive. Being the most competitive is bringing the most value. Bringing the most value is making sure that you can be that long term strategic partner for as long as possible. This is why, one of my former employers is now in business over 110 years. And you look at the history, they have been doing contracts since year one. This is real. It could change everything about how you grow your business. If you're thinking, I have this big vision that God gave me and I can't seem to achieve that because I feel like I'm stuck right here and I can't do this, and there's so many opportunities to do that and the other, and I feel like I'm just excited about everything, really think there is a way. First, we need to clear up and quiet the noise. And then once we get clear on the where the signal is, and we identify a roadmap so we can get to our destination, are you starting to see how simple it could be if you have that roadmap? You can't, it's going to take you way longer. Just like when I go on my little excursions and I just, get lost. I get in my car and I just start driving and turning and left and right and just kind of checking out neighborhoods and just kind of driving around. That's going to take longer. I never expect to be in and out in 10 minutes, right? I know that it's going to take time because I don't have a GPS. I don't have a roadmap. I don't have something telling me where to turn and how to get to a destination. I don't have a destination. But if I have a destination, if I have a goal of winning contracts, if I have a goal of growing my business, of stabilizing my business when there's economic uncertainty, when there's lack of trust, when my clients are kind of feeling like they're pulling back, when the referrals are starting to dry up, when I need more experienced and seasoned hired team members, when I want to finish things on my wish list, 100% I'm gonna get the roadmap. I'm not waiting for anything. I'm not going to say, let me see if I can figure it out, because those minutes become the opportunities to create impact that I'm stealing from someone else. So I'm gonna get the roadmap. I'm gonna go and get it. And that's the first thing I'm gonna do before I get gas or snacks. I'm getting a roadmap. Why? Because I need to know, how much snacks do I need? How much gas do I need? Maybe I don't need a full tank. Maybe I just need a little bit. Maybe I have more than enough to make the trip 10 times. You won't know until you get track of where you are right now. All right, so the last segment we're going to talk through is the GPS metaphor and why it's so important. Is this helping you? Go ahead, comment down below. I think I can see it if you post. Um, I'm going live on LinkedIn and YouTube, so hopefully this is serving you. If you have any questions, you can feel free to put it in the chat. If you are like, I don't really know how to formulate my question, that's okay. I made it super simple for you to submit a question. It goes directly to us. We review it, and then I come live and I actually answer your question live. How about that? So instead of you paying for an hour of a consulting, and then, so really does help you get clarity. Go to www. I think I have a banner for it, melindacologne.com/YouTube QA. And that way you can submit a question directly to me and my team, and we can go over it and answer your question live. So you have it. It's so fun. Okay, let's get back to it. Segment 4, GPS metaphor. Okay, so why is this metaphor so important? I feel like we're in a time, there's a lot of opportunities. I'm, I'm seeing that years ago, I was paying attention during the pandemic for what was happening. Um, my background is that I was working for large commercial construction companies and building relationships across commercial real estate, engineering, architecture, and different consulting and coaching type relationships and clients. And what I was hearing was stirring me. I was hearing a lot of people retire. I was hearing that across the United States here, there was this trend early on in the early 2000s. There was a trend to build senior living, like to build senior living facilities. There was just like a demand. It was a need. It was something that they were not enforcing, but there was incentives to build. And during the pandemic, that all slowed down. In fact, after the pandemic, it seems like it's kind of halted. I know there are builders that specialize in this, and so it's still happening, but it's not happening as much because people are living longer. But just because they're living longer doesn't mean they want to keep their business for another 20 years. They are trying to pass it down to someone in their family. And that may or may not be someone who is interested in running a business that was developed, established, and built in the 70s and 80s. They're looking to kind of carve out their own path and their plan. They're not looking to continue something that feels uncomfortable. Now, in the current marketplace, this was recorded, this was 22 or 23, it was recorded that out of every 10 businesses, only one business is sellable. That means the other 9 businesses, the legacy that they were building, the thing that they were hoping to pass on or to sell one day, the doors just close and all those people lose their jobs. And that was sobering to me. And then I started noticing a pattern, not only in the private sector, but in the public sector. Some specific advertisements I was getting and DMs from different government buyers who were saying, do you know anybody that does this? I need to fill this contract because the company that we have been relying on to complete this work, this $500,000 contract, this $2 million contract, this $10 million contract, they went out of business. He retired. And I started to see it. The point to this sword is spearing us. And if we're not paying attention to it, we're going to get hurt. We can either use it as something that serves us, or we could be the ones being served. And this is where my passion comes from. You are trying to build something. You are looking to build something bigger than yourself, something that's going to outlive you. If you don't have systems, if you don't have a roadmap, if you don't have a guide, if you don't have the appropriate things, it's going to take you longer. Now, with adding on, putting it all together in a beautiful sandwich with AI, we're realizing that time is not something we can waste. So we have to move. The best and the most successful business owners and acquirers and founders and investors and entrepreneurs and just the creators of our world move fast. I mean, go gadget, super fast, okay? Speed of lightning fast. And if you're sitting back and you're thinking, well, I need to think about this more. I need to ponder this more. I'm telling you right now, this is not, I'm trying to scare you. I'm telling you the truth, that it's going to take you more time to do less if you don't start moving. Oh, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm frustrated, I have to deal with so and so until I get this done. I'm going to put it on the back burner. And once I get X, Y, and Z release, I'm telling you right now, if you don't move on stability, it's going to be harder for you to create predictability. One of our clients who has an IT company, he's built it up to 8 figures, and he's looking at other IT companies. He's thinking, I can acquire a couple of them. Instead of starting these divisions by scratch, I can acquire companies that already have government contracts in these divisions. That's a part of the vision. It's like, he's like, I'm going to acquire. And so he's still in the process of, because, acquisition takes time. It takes several months, sometimes years, just depending on the deal and how big it is, et cetera. But he's still in the process, but he's in the process of acquiring a business. And he's looking at different ways to just basically get more done in less time. And in order to do that, you have to move. Comment the word move in the chat if you understand what I'm saying right now, because that is what is necessary to get the results that you're desiring to get. Exactly. GovCon Savvy says, because you're the coordinator managing a successful project from start to finish. 100%. That's a lot. That's a lot. And so instead, if you're owning the business, you're a founder of the business, you want to oversee, you want to be the eagle in the sky while the system is working for you. And that way you can stay focused on the vision that's further ahead and continue to guide the team towards that direction, however you decide to build it. Okay. Are there any questions? Thank you so much for your feedback, GovCon Savvy. That's really good. Okay, so I did get 2 questions. I did get 2 recent questions. It was a Tuesday and Wednesday. And here are the questions. How many active opportunities are in my industry? I'm trying to kind of parse out what specifically. So just side note, if you have a question, you're like, I don't know how to ask this question, just put it and we'll answer it. Just don't worry, we got it. So how many opportunities are active in my industry? So that's really fun. It's a really fun answer to ask, or question to answer. So this is basically, I'm not going to give you an exact number because it changes every day. I mean, if they're advertising and wording every day, right? It's challenging too. But on average, you can look at the average and basically look at the percentage. If your services, your industry is in high demand in the private sector, it's typically equally in high demand on the public sector. So, for example, if you're in construction, high demand on both sides, high demand. Manufacturing, IT, cybersecurity, even accounting. I had a consulting client. She just needed a little bit of work and guidance on something. She didn't need our full program, but she just needed guidance specifically on what she can do to stabilize her business beyond tax season. And so we were able to give her some guidance. There is a huge demand. Everything is dollars and cents. So of course there's going to be accounting contracts. You didn't tell me your industry. So it just kind of was like a dot in the field. But if you want to resubmit that question, then we can answer it specifically for your industry. The second question that we got was, and thank you so much for submitting your question. The second question that we got, okay, so what is the number one thing that government contract um, contractors, okay, I think you're saying the buyers, like specifically government buyers, are looking in my bid for. Okay, so your bid specifically should be responding to everything they said that they wanted. Everything they said they wanted. Oh gosh, I have a client. He's been a client of mine for 2 or 3 years now. I mean, he's doing so good. Oh my gosh. So oh yeah, he listens, and that's what's so amazing, because then he like, at first, I have to say this, like, at first he was like, I don't know, it seems like really odd, and I said, just do this, and he's like, it's so simple that you're explaining it, the way that you explain things, Melinda, is so simple. I'm like, just do it. He does it, he takes action, he does the thing I tell him to do, he starts to see a result. He's like, oh, they're responding to me, they're actually sending me stuff, they're da da da, like, he's getting feedback, he's building a relationship. He had an opportunity to go to a conference and for one of the agencies, and he met the point of contact that he was connecting with, and they took a photo, and he was talking to her and all this stuff. Anyway, so they become like quick friends. They're, of course, she's not like, I can give you a contract here, right? That doesn't happen. Well, depends on the vehicle, but that's another conversation. So she did say, "Man, we're gonna put this out, but, we're missing some information from an advisor." "Oh," he said, "well, what questions do you have?" And just in that conversation, they were able to discuss him coming in and doing a lunch and learn. And he came in and was the advisor for them on that thing that they needed to put the solicitation together. This was 2 years ago. And so he put the bid in. It came out 8 months later. Okay. So it took time to come out. But when it did, it hit. Okay. And so he knew how to position. He knew who could potentially bid and be his competition. Like, he knew everything, because he was early in. He could had time to be a strategist. And so he put his bid in. Of course, he won. And well, not of course, but because he was listening, he was paying attention, he was doing what I was telling him to do, and he was following the system, and he got the contract. And then he was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I said, "Okay, what are you gonna do next?" And he says, "I'm gonna go ask for feedback." And I said, "Good job." Good job. And so he goes back and he asks for feedback, and he gets a copy of the scoring sheet, and he sees where he scored really high, and he saw where he scored, mediocre, and that he could improve. And he also saw how his competitors scored. And now he's like, okay, I got it. All right. Now I know what I'm dealing with. Now, most people will sit in the win. They'll be like, okay, I'm going to sit here for 6 months and just enjoy the fact that I won a contract. No, immediately, fast, quick, go bid on something else. Go bid on something else with those modifications. And so he did. He actually didn't find it. It was on his pipeline that we helped him build. And he found it, it got it advertised, and he submitted immediately. He won that contract. And he told me it felt like it was just so easy, because he had just built the muscle to stay focused on it. He doesn't do any of the delivery anymore. He used to. He used to be part of the performance, the services, but he doesn't do that anymore. All he does is build relationships, and he loves his life. But going back to the question of, like, what do contractors want? They want relationship. Everybody wants relationship. They want connection. They want to understand there is somebody that can help them, especially when they're in urgency, like a natural disaster, or anything like it. Just they want to. They everybody. Your clients currently right now, they want to feel like they can rely on you, not just when you get something out of it, but you're there for them. And so the only way that you can find out what they value is you do your research, and that incorporates building relationship. This is just building relationship equals, I'll give you one tactic and then we'll close out. It equals going on their website, listening to their meeting minutes, um, attending their industry days, paying attention to their posts, their advertisements, um, tracking their budget. meeting them in person, picking up the phone. If it's a SLED agency, like a state, local, anything other than federal, pick up the phone and call them. Hear their voice. Let them hear your voice, the confidence in your voice. Let that happen. It's scientifically proven to help you build relationship faster. Go to an event where they see you, smile, show up, be great, like be greeting, open, have conversations, right? Like just be real. Talk about your dog and your kids and the vacation that's coming up. Like do business development. This is business develop, build relationships. That outweighs everything. Now, when the opportunity comes around, they're sending you a link to it. Like, hey, this is something we really think that you would be a good fit for. Attempt to bid. You're not going to get more than that, right? Unless you ask a question during the Q&A session. But other than that, that's great timing. Now, the other part of this is the other part of building a relationship is how else can you serve? You're always thinking, how can I serve this person? How can I create more wins for them? Because it's inevitable that you're going to win a contract. Like if you just follow the roadmap, it's just inevitable. It's just sometimes it takes longer than others. On average, our clients win contracts quicker because they have established business. They have services, they have skills, they have team. They're already providing the same services, but they're leveraging it to win contracts. They don't need government. You don't need government past performance to win government contracts. That's a big misnomer. People think that. I'm like, who told you that? Like, that's not, because there's so much. Do you need a SAM registration? Unless you're bidding on federal contracts, you do not need a SAM registration. It is not necessary. Do you need a certification to win a contract? No, you don't. You don't. These are questions that I get all the time, and I'm just tired of hearing them. I just want to help you get further along in the journey so that you're not waiting on. There's no reason to wait anymore. You need to move fast. Move fast, go through the iterations, keep going, stay focused on the journey. When you're tired and you're exhausted and you want to sleep in, or you just want to ignore it, or something else comes up, find the time and do it every day. That's consistency. That's resilience. That's predictability. That's where it is. It's in the seasons where you don't want to do it because you build a system, not only in your business, but in your mind. And you become the person that you want to become so that you can get the outcome that you desire to get. All right, guys, I love you. If you guys don't have any questions or comments at this point, I appreciate you. Yeah, this is amazing. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you on Monday back here on LinkedIn and YouTube for some more GovCon Daily. Take care.